Hello, hello, check. Hello, 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 check. Hello. होता ना होनी. Okay. Hello, hello, check. Hello, hello, check. Hello.
Good morning, everyone. Today is the third and the final day of the 9th National Media Conclave. We have already spent the day 1 and day 2 with a lot of enrichment, enthusiasm, and of course, enjoyment. So today's is the last plenary session 5. The theme of the session is Trust and Twist in Digital Gatekeeping. Before we start the program, requesting the audience to keep your phones on silent mode so that the speakers are not disturbed. Thank you. I would now request the respective speakers and dignitaries to be on dais, as I call them by their names. Chairperson of the session, Mr. Snehashish Shur, you are requested to be seated on the dais. Applause, please. Dr. Fakir Mohan Nahak, Professor, Department of Journalism and Mass Communication, School of Media and Communication, Manipal University, Jaipur. Please be on the dais. Ms. Lopa Mishra Jana, Head of Operations, AI and HPC, IIT Bhubaneswar. Dr. Shan Kashyap, Program Manager, Research and Projects, Foundation for Indian Historical and Cultural Research. Is Dr. Kashyap present here? Okay, he might be joining a little late. As said on all the other programs, thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Fakir, sir. As said, that the synergy of Media 5 and digital communication is transforming various sectors, including education, business, entertainment, healthcare, social interaction, and so on. While Media 5 and digital communication offer unprecedented opportunities, they also pose challenges. The extensive use of AI and IoT raises concerns about data collection and user consent. Robust encryption and decentralized systems are critical to addressing these issues. Advanced technology can be misused to create hyper-realistic fake content, necessitating tools for content verification and digital literacy. Realizing the full potential of Media 5 requires addressing ethical, technical, and societal challenges to ensure an inclusive and trustworthy digital ecosystem. As we navigate this new frontier, the focus must remain on fostering meaningful human connections while leveraging technology to enhance rather than replace. I would now request the organizing committee members to present the saplings and the badges to the guests on the dais. Presentation of saplings and badges to the guests, to Mr. Snehashish Shur. Presentation of saplings and badges to Dr. Fakir Mohan Nayak and Ms. Lopa Mishra Jana. Thank you all for coming. Now, to begin the program, I would request our chairperson of this session, Mr. Snehashish Shur, to give his opening remarks on the topic and the entire program. I'm sorry, sir. Little break in the communication. Mr. Sabitra Panda, CEO, Nextleaf Thai.com. Bhuvaneshwar, you are requested to be on the dais, and I would request the organizing committee to present the saplings and the badges to Mr. Panda. Organizing committee, please present saplings and badges to Mr. Sabitra Panda. Thank you, sir, for coming. Thank you. Mr. Snehashish Shur, your opening remarks, please.
Namaskar and good morning to you all. Bande Utkala Janani. Jai Jagannath. Distinguished guests, especially Professor Dharurkar, Professor Padi, Pradeep sir and all others, the distinguished panelists on the dais, and the moderator, Devavani. It gives me immense pleasure in coming back every year to this National Media Conclave. I have seen its growth, its beginning and evolution both. And I would like to begin with my humble appreciation to Professor Upendra Padi for meticulously doing it every year. It's not a very easy job. Getting people from all across the country and picking up an issue and having several sessions revolving around that particular issue. It's not an easy matter, but I must appreciate his gesture that he is creating an atmosphere for us to meet and exchange our knowledge. And I have no hesitation in saying that we were not born in the AI age. So it is a learning process for us also. And it's a great learning opportunity when you see the professionals, academicians, practitioners get together and exchange their views and thoughts to enlighten us so that we understand what we can do and what we should not do regarding AI automation. We are in the digital age, and we are crossing the digital edge, and we are already in the AI edge. AI is something which we cannot ignore. Like we could not ignore computer, we could not ignore internet, and we have started loving and we have started enjoying the computer, enjoying internet, and these things have made our life much easier. Similarly, AI. But ladies and gentlemen, there is always a caution and a caveat that what we should do and how we should do. There have been a lot of deliberations on this. I'll straightway like to come to the topic of this particular session, which reads like Trust and Twist in Digital Gatekeeping. I would like to draw my kind attention to the students sitting at the back. Gatekeeping is a word which I must say was once upon a time related to the field of journalism. The reporters and the editors, they used to decide what people, their readers, listeners and viewers would know. It is me in the newsroom, pick up certain story, give it to my friend to get it done, and also some other stories to kill, so that these stories had never seen the light of the day. Because I or any one of my colleagues have decided that no, this does not require, we have a shortage of space, we have a shortage of time, this is not worthy to be carried in our bulletin or in our newspaper. So, you were my consumer of news, my viewer, reader and listener. But you had no option to decide. only decision you could take that you would resort to newspaper A or newspaper B or newspaper C. And there was a time when there was only one audiovisual channel and there is one radio channel which gives news. So in these cases, you did not have any option, but in the newspaper, you had option in totality. You can switch over to the other. But which news you would like to read elaborately, you had no option. If I give it elaborately, then you read it. If I don't give elaborately, you don't read it. You could resort to some magazines and all, it's similar. Which is the cover story, which are the other stories, and there used to be certain issues which have never seen the light of the day. And it was delayed because of these communication problems. So this is the gatekeeping role which the journalist used to have for the readers, viewers and listeners. Now, once we came to digital era, that gatekeeping role is abolished. Digitization has democratized the entire media ecosystem. Everybody is a content producer. Earlier you had to piggy ride a mainstream media, legacy media, to reach out your message to the masses. Now, if the mainstream media even do not carry your stuff, you have your own social media platforms where you can flood with whatever you can think and whatever you would like to place. So, digitization has democratized the world. It has empowered every citizen as a content producer. Every citizen has become what we say, citizen journalist. That is the empowerment. You are only a receiver and now you are a producer also. No, consumer and producer together, which we had a lot of discussion yesterday. It's a new phenomenon. But in that context, once you have started giving your stuff in the social media, which used to go to millions, suppose I write one post-editorial column in a more or less well-established newspaper, it is read by 1,000, 10,000. But when you post something in the social media platforms, it may be viral. It covers so many, much more than 1,000 and 10,000. So you are reaching much more people on your own rather than I work in a legacy media because my viewership, readership and listening is limited. So that is not only the factor. I work as a journalist, I get paid. How much I get paid, that's a different issue. That's a part of another seminar. The new labor code has come, the Wage Board Act has gone, the Working Journalist Act has gone. And how do the journalists of these days function? This calls for another 7 days seminar. And that too, nobody will arrive at any conclusion. Who is a journalist? How are they getting paid and what is their lifestyle? Forget it. What I'm going to say is, you are a citizen journalist, you are a content producer in social media, and there is a concept called monetization. That you are paid back. You are putting a content and you are paid back. And ladies and gentlemen, this monetization is not very small. If you find out around you, you will see for yourselves there are people, including in the rural areas, not in the city, whose channels are monetized. So this gives you an earning also. This gives you, that's why they ask for more likings, more followings, more viewing, and then according to that measure, and which is, is a technologically measured. It's not an RNI measurement, not an ABC measurement, not a TAM measurement, not a BARC measurement. It is automatically, digitally measured. And as per the measurement of the viewership, you get paid. So you are producing content, you are getting paid. Sometimes it may be a better proposition for the young budding journalists to look out for a job in the mainstream legacy media or to do your own startup in own YouTube channel or Facebook channel or whatever it is. So there is no gatekeeping role. You are your gatekeeper. If you decide this to go, you put it. If you don't decide, you don't put it. But how do you decide? The journalists who are working in the legacy media, mainstream media, have to abide by a rule of ethics and the professional practice, where you are told, either you are trained in media school or in the newsrooms, there is a style book, there is a system, there is a discipline, there is a principle that you cannot do this. But here, you are your own boss. If you think I will do it, you do it. This was continuing for some time. But anything can be going unchecked. The government has also brought in the IT Act, which has also undergone some amendments. And one must be aware of, yesterday there was a beautiful session on privacy, data privacy and all. So IT Act, there are provisions, and you are liable to be punished if you do certain things, number one. Number two, a week back, Government of India has come out with the DPDP rules. Earlier it has done the DPDP Act, Digital Personal Data Protection Act, which has come in. Then they circulated the draft rules. They have gone for consultation. And last week they have come out with the DPDP rules. And the rules say what you can do and what you cannot do. Even as a journalist also, you cannot do every time you have to disclose your source on demand. Now, journalists, not by any law, but by convention, they were so-called protected, that if the news is true, then no authority can ask for the source. They can judge whether the true or false. If something I report in the part of my investigative reporting and it comes out to be true, nobody is going to question my source. Yes, I will stand on the docks and say that if any punishment is to be given, I am there, your milord, you punish me. I'm not going to disclose my source. That has been the convention. But now the rule has changed. You have to divulge your sources and lot of other things. So nothing can go unchecked. Like even freedom of speech and expression is also not absolute freedom. There must be some reasonable restrictions, as we know in our Indian Constitution. Similarly, this has also come. Your operations are restricted. Yes, good or bad, everything has a good or everything has a bad. Good because otherwise people will come and then troll you without any reason. I have animosity with you and I keep on writing all bad things on somebody, and there are people who have no relation with the area of work or that particular person will also go on trolling. The person is very bad, the person is very bad, you are right, people should come forward to punish this person and all these. All these people who write in the comments, they have nothing to do with the person who is accused. So things cannot continue like this. So there are plus and minus. So what I wanted to say in terms of the topic, so there has been a twist. So when I am my producer, I am my boss, I can twist my information. Because in the mainstream media, objectivity, fairness and balanced reporting is in the blood of a reporter, of a sub-editor, of an editor. That otherwise he is to be asked by his bosses, what is the proof and all other things. So that is the training. But here there is no formal training, no formal understanding of the social good. So obviously you can twist. So there is a possibility, because there is no hindrance between the producer and the recipient. There is no noise, there is no bar. Immediately the communication is straight and multiple. So you can twist. So in the digital, we talk about fake news, we talk about misinformation, disinformation, malinformation, all these which you can resort to inadvertently or willingly. You have a purpose. the pictures are morphed and instigations are being made for a purposeful thing. You have an agenda to fulfill, and you resort to the social media and you campaign, whether truly or untruly. So this has been there. So twist is always there. Now the trust. Trust is something which takes years to be built. The legacy media has built that trust because they are answerable, there are authorities, there are legalities. Now, in the digital platform, throughout the world, there is a drive against fake news, misinformation, disinformation, and malinformation. All over the world, every country is resorting to some rules and regulations and laws by which this menace of fake news can be checked. So that is why you have to be careful. These days, you cannot write malicious things or instigating things which are not based on material facts and figures. So the authority, like police, can take action. So the trust you need to build to increase your visibility, to have more viewers and all, because you are trustworthy. You are fair, balanced, and objective. Or else, if you do not do, yes, the state is bringing in certain laws, good or bad, that's a different issue, but it cannot be unchecked. So this is the premise, that we have almost no gatekeeping in the digital age, and digital age has democratized. So you directly reach out to millions, and there, if you wish, willingly or unwillingly, like in WhatsApp, we are forwarding a lot of messages. We need to understand before forwarding blindfoldedly that whether it is good and substantive. So these are the learnings for which we have come, and our eminent speaker will enlighten us. So there is always a possibility of twist, because it is in your own hand. You are not within a structure. Then the trust. Either you build up this trust, or you are compelled to build up the trust, because you cannot move. You will be caught by the state, the law of this land. Whether good or bad, that's a different issue. But the trust is something which should come from within. So this is the premise I have set, and I would hand it over to our esteemed moderator to call upon the next speaker. Thank you very much. Once again, I'm grateful to Professor Upendra Padi and all of you for giving us. You see, this is the digital age. The physical number may be in 2 digits or maybe in 1 digit. Doesn't matter. While coming to attend this conference, our train was scheduled that we missed the inaugural. But in the train, myself and Joydeep were watching it, because it's live and it is going to remain. Anybody wants to refer it back, it's there. That's the digital age. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sur, for your enlightening speech. We have always been enriched with your words and concept of the topic. And as a veteran and a very senior person, especially for the conclave, we are really happy to have you here. Our next speaker is Mr. Sabitra Panda. He is one of the Indian leading voices in data and artificial intelligence, bringing over 18 years of deep industry experience across strategy, innovation, and enterprising scale transformation. An alumni of NIT Rourkela and IIM Indore, he combines a strong technical foundation with elite management insight and edge that defines his approach to building intelligent, future-ready organizations. His work is widely recognized for simplifying complex technologies, enabling large-scale upskilling, and helping institutions unlock real business value from data. With a rare blend of expertise, credibility, and hands-on leadership, Sabitra continues to shape India's AI ecosystem, empowering professionals, enterprise, and government bodies to navigate the next wave of digital transformation. Mr. Savitri Panda, please kindly take up the dais. A loud round of applause, please, for Mr. Savitra Panda.
Warm good morning to everyone. Am I audible? Yeah. So I might be the odd one out, not from the media industry per se, but at least from an industry which has kind of touched every aspect and is all pervasive, right? Artificial intelligence, right? When I started off my career in 2007, may not be more than 100 people in India would have actually known what is AI. It wasn't all pervasive back then. Things were pretty different. We still used to have those dongles for using internet. And I'm talking about my days, right? When I was pretty young, now I am not. 2016 September has been a landmark month in the history of India. Why? Things were geofied, if I could use the right term, right? The cost of data actually shifted from somewhere to close to 250 rupees per GB to around 10 rupees per GB. And that kind of changed everything. And why is that important? Because it is very contextual, right? These days, we do not simply report news. We are recommended news. We do not simply consume media. It is kind of architected in a way that it is coming to us through AI, right? So what has changed and why is it really important? And how we are one of those gatekeepers. Now, if I ask you honestly, most of us would agree that we forward news without reading, at least on WhatsApp, right? We do not check the credibility of multiple things. Is that where we can maybe shape up to be a gatekeeper, right? And why am I bringing, there are two things that were very pivotal, right? One was, if I use the right term, the geofication of data and the WhatsApp University, if I use it's a pretty popular term, right? There were a lot of surveys done as to which are the platforms where we have the most trust. It started off with Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp, and multiple other platforms. And it was seen that WhatsApp is the platform where we showed maximum faith. Why? Because it's one platform where we actually get news from the people we are connected to, maybe friends, family, and we tend to associate a certain degree of trust to that, no matter what is the veracity of what has been forwarded to us, right? Why is AI a boon or a bane in this aspect? Now, you would realize that, I mean, when we were growing up, we maybe had one news channel, maybe like Doordarshan. Some people had cable, but yeah, I'm talking about myself. We actually, everyone consumed news at the same time, and it was the same news that everybody consumed, more or less. Now we have 700 plus platforms, which can give us a different news or a same news with a very different narrative. And the keyword here is narrative, right? Because that keeps on changing. Right? You wouldn't be surprised to know that I can tailor my political narrative to a certain section of a constituency itself. And that is what AI has enabled me to do. Right? Misinformation, disinformation, everything has come up more so in the age of AI. I can talk about it mostly in the last 10 years, right? So what are the ill effects of that? Okay, I had a presentation, but it's fine. I'll manage without that. Is it? Okay. So one thing we must understand is, I mean, we may not, I think most of us still do not depend on newspapers or maybe like radios for our news consumption. At least the Gen Z, I mean, maybe the previous generation, all of us are kind of hooked to those platforms. And the platforms have one single incentive, engagement, right? They want to monetize, right? So their goal is never truth. Their goal is engagement and monetization, right? And that is where you would be, and you would have observed that certain people get certain news. Certain news are trending and not all the news are trending. When I swipe, maybe the news feed changes, right? And everything is because they are trying to predict an engagement. Now you would be thinking, okay, there was already AI which was maybe causing some issue. Now there is generative AI since the last 2.5 years, right? And being someone from the industry, I do understand how things can kind of get twisted. We all talk about generative AI, and most of these deep fakes, as you could call, maybe voice cloning, everything is an outcome of generative AI, right? And can we trust generative AI? The answer is no. Why? All of us would have heard about a term called hallucination, right, in generative AI, and that is where things are made up. Now, generative AI can make up news. It can make up Supreme Court judgments, which will appear as if it is pretty realistic. It's just that it is fabricated, right? So, people shouldn't think of generative AI as an AI tool that will give you true information. It is, by default, nothing but a probability model. It just predicts what is the most probable next word. And in that context, you can never be sure, because when it comes to generative AI, the AI itself is not sure whether whatever it is saying is true or not. It is not supposed to validate. It's supposed to predict the next word, that's all. I'm kind of simplifying generative AI for everyone. Now, in that context, what is the role, what is the trust and the twist, right? So I can see that the twist majorly is of three types. One is that hallucination that I just spoke about. The other is AI bouncers. Now, what is AI bouncers? No matter how good your content is, if your content is in a language called, like, maybe it is Marathi or Oriya or Bengali, and that is not in the training data set of the AI model, then you will be kind of kicked out. You will not even, you will be eliminated from the news feed, right? And that is called AI bouncers. That's happening because it's a very big problem, right? It's like you go to a club and the guard at the door decides that whether you should be allowed in the club or not, who are the VIP people and who are not, right? Next, again, the menace of deepfake and like fake news, right? Now, I think something really nice happened last week, and this is there. So X, or Twitter, as they call it, is one of the most common platform for news consumption. And they have started a very new feature called, they will tag the country of the profile. And why is that important in the current context? So we all would have seen that there are many names which supposedly appear Indian, but are actually accounts operated from our neighboring countries, kind of dishing out a narrative against our country, right? And now with this tagging coming in, it actually establishes a sort of veracity, right? Now, not only that, there are measures which we can take as maybe journalists, as media personals, and even maybe AI people to kind of make sure that trust is built, right? So maybe I'll take a few more examples and a couple of instances. So there's something called C2PA. I'm not sure how many of you have heard about this. Now let's take an example. There's a media content that is generated from a source. It is edited multiple times, and then it reaches you. Right now you do not have a knowledge of a couple of things. Where did it originate? Who all modified? And is the modification realistic? Imagine that you consume your food the same way. They just give you a packet without any nutrition level, labeling of any nutrition. Would you be very convinced to consume that? The answer is no. So could we have something very similar, which will be like a nutrition label for food? We'll have something called a nutrition label for content, digital content that is generated, right? And they do have that. That is called C2PA. It's a open source. I'll spell out the name. It's pretty complex. I keep on forgetting. So it's an open source. Yeah. It's called Coalition for Content Provenance and Authenticity, right? It's a consortium of a lot of big players like BBC, Microsoft, OpenAI, and what they do is, for every digital artifact they have, they will have a country of origin and all the edits that has happened before it has reached you. So when you kind of open that, you know that these are the things that it has undergone, right? We may think of having something similar for our Indian stack. Maybe we could have something called Praman stack, right, for Indian, which it talks about credibility and proof. So now the question is, should we be looking for trust or should we be looking for trustworthiness? Now what is the difference? Trust is an emotion. Trustworthiness is a process. It's a process which is more objective. So what, in my opinion, we should be doing is we should be looking at the trustworthiness and not just trust. And C2PA, I think globally it's a standard, open standard. It's one of the ways they have tried to reinforce that into our digital content. So maybe the last thing that I would say, what would be my call to action for my fellow media people? There is something that AI cannot replicate. It is the human authenticity. It's the 20 plus years of media experience that you have as human being that cannot be replicated by AI, right? So why can't we establish that? And again, it is fair to say that we have multiple media houses. Some are owned by certain companies. Yeah, there's always a question of whether it is independent. There are certain, I think people do have a certain view. Some are rightist, some are leftist, some are centrist. So the narrative does keep on changing. So the next piece of thought for maybe for all of us is, how do we bring in that human authenticity to at least the, like whatever media content we have? Because when we are fighting with AI, it is a lost battle because AI can generate infinite content. So what we should fight for is the finite aspect, which is totally human controlled, right? Could we have a group or could we have groups where people pay for authentic content, which is human generated rather than maybe AI generated news? So with that, I think I'll come to my conclusion. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Panda, to give a different dimension of the trust and twist in digital gatekeeping. Now we move on to our next speaker, Dr. Fakir Mohan Nahak. Fakir sir has been associated with this conclave since the beginning, and we have seen him coming here every year and putting in his best. He is having a PhD degree in journalism and mass communication from Berhampur University, Orissa. He's a postgraduate in environmental science and gold medalist in his second master's, MJMC. He started his career as a casual announcer in All India Radio during his college days. He's a broadcaster and worked with major television networks of India like ETV Network, Eastern Media Limited, News 18 Network, Z Media Corporation, etc. Presently, Dr. Nahak is working as the professor and director of School of Media and Communication, Manipal University, Jaipur. He is a professional storyteller, author, social researcher. He has edited and authored 8 books and hundreds of articles. He writes both in English, Hindi, and Oriya. Fakir sir, please continue with your session.
मन्नाथ श्री जगन्नाथ मद्गुरु श्री जगद्गुरु मदात्मा सर्वभूतात्मा तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। सारे गुरुओं को मेरा प्रणाम, जो मेरे सामने बैठे हैं, जो मंच पर बैठे हैं। टुडेज टॉपिक इज ट्रस्ट एंड ट्विस्ट इन डिजिटल गेट कीपिंग। I have a presentation. I would like to request to start my PPT there. Before I start my presentation, I would like to tell you a story. I think you all must have heard about Adi Shankaracharya, who established or renovated all those four dham, just like in different, in northeast, west and south, you can say news, right? Adi Shankaracharya established four dhams in India. When he visited for the first time, we all know that Shankar is the god for Adi Shankaracharya, but for the first time, when he visited Lord Jagannath and watched him and standing in front of him, it was his reaction, what he has written in Dhanyastakam, right? Sampurna Jagadeva Nandana Vanam Sharbepi Kalpadruma Gangambari Samastabari Nibaha Punyaha Samastakriya Vachaha Prakrita Sanskruta Shrutigiro Varanasi Medini Sarvavasthitirasya Vastru Vishaya Drishte Parabrahmani. For him, Lord Shiva was the god, but for the first time when he met Lord Jagannath or watched Lord Jagannath, he interpreted him as Shiva. He interpreted the entire universe as if he is watching Lord Shiva in the form of Lord Jagannath. So my point is that when he interpreted, he put his views, not the news. There was no such gatekeeping. But from time immemorial, we have gone through the practice that people involved in gatekeeping, particularly when the information was shared with masses, when the information we intended to share with masses, with the public, in the interest of public, the gatekeeping was intended. But unfortunately, it was misutilized. The information that was required for public also retained by the editors or by the editorial team, or you can say because of the political intervention and other things, it was not shared properly. But when it came to the digital age, you don't have any option for gatekeeping. If being the editor of a channel or being the editor of a newspaper, if I am trying to block any information or to seize any information before sharing it, then there comes a problem that it is available in public domain and others have that access. That is the reason why I recall one of my professional experience when one of the news editors told me that we have to use WhatsApp as the means for sharing the information. You know, in television, the biggest challenge is to get the visuals instantly. In that case, it was made mandate that everybody has to use WhatsApp to share the information. Unfortunately, I'm sharing one experience, how when the gatekeeping fails, how you land into trouble. We got a visual from an unknown source, and our reporter was so excited, and he encouraged the editor that we should go for this and we should break it. It is an exclusive story. We have to present it, and we, unfortunately, after repeated requests and reminders that please go for cross-verification of the information, and unfortunately, that story was aired, and ultimately the channel went to legal hassles and into legal trouble because it was not verified, and what we claimed, it was not true. That is the reason why we need gatekeeping. Yes? Please go ahead. We live in a world where the first interaction we start with reality is not by people, but by algorithms, platforms. You just think, in the morning when we start our day with Karagre Vasate Lakshmi, then what we say? First we check the mobile phone. Is there any message for us? We check our WhatsApp. right? And we check our social media platforms, is there any information for us? And that information, whether it is true or false, whether it is of the real world or it is manipulated, we are not aware of it. There is digital gatekeepers decide what we see, when we see it, and how we engage with it. That is the reason why when you are posting something and you are checking at how many views, how many likes, how many comments. That means somebody is controlling it, and once you started liking a particular kind of content, then after you will find that the similar kind of content is popping up for you while you are using it. So that is a biggest challenge, because what exactly you need, the variety you need, you are not getting that only because once what you have liked, that is identified, or you can say used by AI and algorithms, and they are showing you similar kind of content. They build trust, but they also create twists, sometimes intentionally, sometimes accidentally. And today, gatekeepers, search engines, social media feeds, content moderation bots, and recommendation system, and even influencers who reach rivals media houses. Just think. आप लोगों ने देखा होगा एक एडवर्टाइजमेंट, मैं पहले बहुत मोटा हुआ करता था, जब से ये फलाना फलाना ड्रिंक पीता हूँ मैं बहुत अच्छा हो गया हूँ और मैं प्यारा लगता हूँ, मैं हैंडसम लगता हूँ, आज मुझे हर कोई पसंद करता है, लेकिन पहले मैं बहुत मोटा हुआ करता था. Yeah, I think you almost have gone through that, right? What is that? They are trying to influence us, right? My friend is sitting there, he uses a beauty cream or a shaving gel or a hair styling, some chemicals, some medicines. Why should I be interested in that? Why I am shown that? Because he is my friend, because I am in his contact, because I am following him. That's why whatever he or she is endorsing, it is showing to me, and simply they are persuading us to go for that product. Whether we need it or we don't, we have never thought about it. That is the reason why the media people are also feeling envious about the influencers, those social influencers, right? So this system promises efficiency, personalization, speed, and convenience, but they also reshape our world through micro choices based on our preferences. Here comes the trust element. Why we trust social media, or why we trust digital media? Because information comes quickly and easily, and algorithms tailor our content to our based on our past behavior, and basically machines are assumed to be unbiased. Whatever information we are getting, we feel that they are unbiased. That's why we start trusting them. But trust in digital gatekeeping is often unquestioned trust. We have never raised question on that, built not on transparency but on habit. We trust Google because it appears fast. We trust the trending stories because it is viral. We trust the content recommendation because it feels right. A trust without accountability is fragile. We have never raised question on trust. And what is the twist? Without our knowledge, the twist creeps in. Without our knowledge, the twist changes the story, and we become habitual to it and we accept it. Algorithms amplify extremes because extreme grabs attention. I have given you the example. If I liked one or two video on a particular genre or of a particular nature, then all the stories that are appearing, that even I'm getting the extreme stories. Why? Because I have shown interest to that. And why algorithm shows us the extreme content. The reason is it drags more attention. Filter bubbles isolate us into comfortable, self-confirming digital worlds. Manipulation becomes scalable, whether by misinformation networks, political actors, or profit-driven recommendation systems. Data biases reproduce societal biases in hiring platforms, content moderation, search results, and even AI decision making. The twist is not always malicious. Sometimes it is simply the byproduct of optimization algorithms that prioritize engagement over integrity. When trust meets twist, trust is fine, twist is fine, but it is a deadly combination when trust meets twist. The combination of deep trust and hidden twist create a perfect term. People accept misinformation as truth. Real expertise competes with manufactured authority. Vulnerable groups face higher risk from biased system. Nowadays, you must have marked that on social media, everybody is a stock market expert. Everybody is saying, join for me for 5 minutes or 10 minutes. I will tell you, I will recommend you three shares. You will purchase that. Overnight, you will become a millionaire, billionaire. You will earn lakhs of rupees. And ultimately, the small investors, the poor people, those who want to become, what you can say, rich overnight, they use it. So ultimately, the credibility of digital system themselves erodes in that. That is the reason why we need gatekeeping, and a gatekeeping ecosystem that is transparent, accountable, and human-centric. There should be transparency, and there should be human in loop. Because if I choose something to watch, I choose something to consume, I may be a prosumer, I may be a consumer, I may be a creator, but at the same time, whatever I am accessing, I must have it say there. So ultimately, I will come to the conclusion that trust is the currency and gatekeeping is the architecture. If we allow twists, biases, manipulations, and distortions to dominate that architecture, the cost is societal. Truth becomes negotiable. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Fakir sir, with your wonderful presentations and lacing the entire speech with lovely quotations. Now we move on to our last speaker, Ms. Lopa Mishra Jana. She's the Head of Operations, AI and HPC, IIT Bhubaneswar. Lopa Mishra Jana is the Chief of Operations at AI and HPC Research Center, IIT Bhubaneswar, and General Partner, Pontac Ventures. She was a former CEO, HEO of Taihan Technology Innovation Hub for Autonomous Navigation and Data Acquisition Systems. She has over 18 years of experience in diverse spectrum of areas, as well as organizations in the national and international realm. She has graduate and postgraduate degrees in engineering and business management. Experienced entrepreneur with a demonstrated history of working in the information technology and services industry, she was skilled in operation and management. She is also a strong business development professional focused in global business management from Indian Institute of Management, Calcutta. Ms. Jana, please carry on with your speech.
Namaskar, everyone. Remembering Dr. Mahtab, my regards. Respected dignitaries on the dais and off the dais, faculty members, journalists, media professionals, and my dear friends. It's a privilege to speak on a topic that defines the future of journalism, the trust and twist in digital gatekeeping. Now, I'll echo what Mr. Snehasis and Dr. Nahak and Mr. Panda said, that for decades, this media ecosystem was based on a very simple idea. Editors were gatekeepers, journalists were the custodians of truth, and newsrooms were the filters, right? So please correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, but today this landscape has completely transformed. Today algorithms are editors, then they decide what rises, they decide what disappears. AI tools, not reporters, they create, amplify, and sometimes distort the content. We have, sir, moved from gatekeeping to gate shifting. That is what we have now done. I'll also maybe think of a story. Let's say during the cyclone last year, a student receives a WhatsApp message saying that a super cyclone would be hitting within hours. It looks very official with AI generated government logo on it, copied signature, fabricated verification marks. And in fear, she packs the bags, tells her neighbors to be prepared to evacuate. But by the morning, the message comes clear that it was fake. The news was fake. It had originated from some private channel, amplified by the chat bots or other bots, automated bots, and boosted by some newsfeed algorithm that prioritized virality over validity. One fake message and the entire neighborhood spends the night in panic. This is where media now is heading towards. The line between truth and truth-looking content is becoming thinner. In today's world, this kind of incidents, they are telling us something very profound, that a lie can be engineered in seconds, but truth takes time to reach to the audience. And that is exactly why we must talk about trust and twist in the digital gatekeeping. Talking about the evolution, now we have evolved from editors to algorithms. For decades, like we said, the editors decided, journalists verified, and producers curated. There was an accountability. But now, first people decide what you see. The people to decide what you see are algorithms and not editors. We should be acknowledging the truth that 88% of Indians are now, they consume news on digital platforms. 70% of what they see are determined by automated recommendations. There is a 400% surge in deepfakes in the last year, and 90% of this global content is expected to be AI influenced by maybe in another couple of years. This means that truth is no longer human only. And when 75% of the young Indians consume news digitally, and mostly through YouTubes or Insta, WhatsApp, these front pages are now controlled by machines, not newsrooms. And they are these machine learning systems, the black box models, the ranking algorithms, the engagement optimizers. So this is where the twist lies. The gatekeepers have become invisible, unaccountable, and often emotionally manipulative. So they're no longer, like I said, they're no longer people. They're just platforms, an unknown face, and the platforms are governed by algorithms. What is this trust crisis? The story just I shared, it's just not an exception. It's becoming a norm. Deepfake has risen. And, a voice cloning has become so easy that people can impersonate anyone, from celebrities to family members. A fake video of a politician, a misinformation reel, a sensational piece of audio, a clipped school video, each can create real-world consequences. Yes, consequences, not news. The trust crisis is not just about misinformation, but it's about the misplaced trust in the digital content curated by machines. I repeat, curated, not created. It's not just created, but created and curated. And the twist is, when this engagement becomes the new truth, Traditional media had that responsibility tied to credibility, but today, they prioritize engagement. What does that mean? Emotional content takes a front seat over factual content. Controversial content, presides over balanced content, and fast content again takes an upper hand over verified content. So truth does not go viral. Now emotion does, and algorithms reward emotions, not accuracy. Like Sir said, the filter bubbles. Yes, these are the personalized realities. Algorithms learn from your behavior, your likes, your swipes, your staying for some time on a content, on a media content, comments. They create that filter bubble where, you only see what matches your views. You don't see the entire truth and decide what is right and wrong. You hear very less from the opposite side. You stop getting exposed to diverse perspectives. So this leads to the fragmentation of society. Everyone lives in their own truth universe, that bubble. So stories, they no longer unites us like they used to. It's the algorithms that now separates us. The news influencers, like Sir, you rightly said, have become the silent gatekeepers. Let's be honest, a 20-year-old influencer with, let's say, 1 million followers now gains or shapes more opinion than a 60-year-old newspaper editor. Creators, memes, pages, reels, short videos, they have become the new editors of the society. But, these influencers, they're not trained in ethics, they're not trained in fact-checking. They are not accountable to public interest. Yet, they shape the narratives every day. The most powerful gatekeepers today did not ask for responsibility. Yet, they have this immense influence. What we should be doing, what must change? If gatekeeping has shifted, our approach to trust must shift too. What is it that is needed? Algorithmic transparency. Why we see certain posts, platforms must now explain the origin, how the content is prioritized, how this engagement is calculated. That all has to be transparent. Like we say, sunlight is the best disinfectant, right? So media forensics, that should become the basic skill now. Like students must learn what is deepfake, AI disclosure, deepfake detection, metadata verification, audio forensics, image analysis. These should become a part of their curriculum, which I'm sure it must be now. And then we have to incorporate digital ethics in the curriculum as well. So every media student should understand AI disclosure, the synthetic media labeling, then responsible creation of visual content. This future journalists, they should be a part of the creator, part technologist, and part ethicist. That is what they need to become now. And for us all, the citizens, we need to have strong digital literacy. I tell my kids also that anything that you see on social media, on a Facebook platform, need not be true. And you need not be biased by that. So people should now know how to question a viral clip, how to understand bias, how to spot manipulation, and that will help us stop spreading this fake news. And my panelists also mentioned, that human judgment should be at the center. AI can definitely optimize engagement, but only human can uphold the values. So editors, journalists, anchors, they all must have this empathy, accuracy, balance, and context. So media now need not be human versus machines. It should be humans responsibly leading these machines. We have the current policy environment, and India is actively responding to this shift, be it the DPDP policy, the deepfake guidelines and AI advisory. Whatever it is, the enforcement remains a challenge, because misinformation is moving faster than compliance. And the role of institutes like IMS, that they have led these conversations on media innovation, and now its role is even more critical, when they must prepare the next generation for jobs like AI-assisted journalists, media forensic analysts, immersive content creators and designers, digital ethics auditor. So student must be trained to question systems, not just create content. That is where we will truly evolve, and this shift or this trust, mistrust, that will gain the right momentum. Returning to the story earlier, a manipulated clip, a viral outrage, a damaged reputation, and a community is misled. So we should be very careful. This did not happen because of technology alone. This happened because of the unquestioned trust in what digital platforms have been showing us. So let us remember that in this digital age, truth is not what reaches us first, rather truth is what survives this verification. As we move deeper into this ecosystem, so our responsibility is not just to create a media that, it's not just to create the media that spreads, but it is to create a media that stands this test of time and stands for something verified. Thank you so much. Thank you, Professor Padi, for inviting me. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am, for your lovely speech and a very linear one which could reach the students also. I would now request Mr. Snehashish Shur, chairperson of this session, to give his closing remarks.
Yes, sir, definitely, sir. If you happen to be the chairperson, there's only one benefit, that you get an opportunity to speak twice, before and after. So, I don't know who decides, algorithms or human, but the fact is, you get me twice, and you have no control over liking or disliking. So it is the algorithm set by humans. Now, as a chairperson, if I say that this panel has been the best, why should I? I mean, who judges? There is no algorithm to judge. I mean, I don't have that algorithm. But I am very satisfied that all the esteemed panelists has dealt in the subject very well, at a very rudimentary level, from a very practical part, and has informed us about the latest trends in the media ecosystem. And I must appreciate two technocrats along with Phokir Babu, that they know a lot of things on where we operate in our platform, because the entire media ecosystem has become technology based. And I call upon my young budding scribes and media students that you cannot live without technology. Okay, we could spend our days, but you will not be able to survive. Now, Mr. Savitra Panda has said one thing very, very serious. That is, we do not report, we don't get reportings. We get recommended news, not reported news, it's recommended news. So this statement itself has a twist in it, that the entire system is twisted towards recommendation, agenda setting, towards getting some ultimate, towards something, with a view to attaining something. That is, there's a recommendation role. We are exposed to different narratives of the same news. This has always been there. Half of the glass is empty, half of the glass is full. But now you have many, and you select which one you prefer. You want to select half empty, so you will only get the information which says half empty. So that is algorithm, that is your preference is being set, and you are provided further on your preference versions only. Generative AI, See, we need to know a little bit of AI, definitely, otherwise we'll not survive. The generative AI means there is a less trust. And as I said, that a lot of new things like C3PA has been referred to. And this is the benefit of having a technocrat in our midst, that we have some takeaways. It's not that whatever we know we will repeat. We must get something new. I do not want to repeat exactly each and everything what is said, but only if I do not reiterate, then I'll be failing in my duty in wrapping up session. Dr. Fokir Mohan Nayak has been a great personality who has risen from the news and is in the teaching. And he has also mentioned one ultimate thing. There is gatekeeping. Gatekeeping has not gone. That digital does not mean there is no gatekeeping. Everybody is giving out. That's true from one side. But what we get as a recipient, there is a gatekeeper, but no human, but the algorithm. They are doing the gatekeeping job for us. That is something which is very important. The search engines are digital gatekeepers for us. Yes, he has mentioned filter bubbles, which has been explained. But he concluded in a very, very definitive way that it's not the question whether we should have a gatekeeping or not. That's beyond doubt. We should. But in what form? That question he has raised. And I think people from practicing world, people from academia, and people from industry technology will have to sit together and find out the right kind of path where we have a control as well as a freedom. Reasonable restrictions, but freedom. But truth needs to survive. That morphing, that manipulation of truth has to be stopped for the benefit of the society. Madam Jana presented in such a manner that it seemed that she had worked in the newsroom. So she has been an insider in the newsroom. That's great. That when a technologies grow in inventing the learning, that they go deep. I mean, tomorrow she is invited. You know, there is another seminar in this same kind of an auditorium elsewhere and not very far away, which is the national seminar, also a national seminar for the KIMS, for the doctors. If ma'am is asked to present that AI for the medicine or in the medical profession, she will go deep into the AI activities of the medical profession too, I have every belief. So there are new editors. Now editors are in extinction. Professional editors are no longer there. In our early days, we have seen stalwart editors, but now not many are not many stalwarts are made. One person is changed in 1 year after and all. I mean, whoever suits the owners well, and he or she becomes the editor. I mean, I have no hesitation in saying. But now what ma'am has said very clearly, that algorithms are editors now. They are editors for us. They are deciding for us. And gatekeeping to gate shifting. The priorities, the entire content is being shifted. And she is giving statistics that 80% of Indians are accessing news through digital platform. 70% are auto-recommended news they are getting. And which is alarming is a 400% increase of deepfakes. So whatever we are exposed to every day, we have to think that there has been a 400% of increase. So the crisis is in trust. So trust is something which is going through a crisis. And then, as I said, we all should see how do we handle the new truth. I would like to conclude by saying just only one thing, referring to the media literacy. Media literacy not for the practitioners, not for the citizen journalists or the content creators, but for the receivers, recipients. Each and every citizen should be well aware of media literacy. So he or she is able to smell which is right or which is wrong. That inherent capacity needs to be built up, and it cannot be built up in overnight. It has to be, he or she needs to be trained through media literacy. So this is something which we should think of. Otherwise, we'll be exposed to a selective perception. We need to understand what is media literacy. We need to probe. And first and last thing, there is one expert sitting, Joydeep, who is specialist on facts checking. He also will agree that the facts checking or finding out whether it's true or false begins with oneself, not with the reverse image methodology or any other technical aid. But you will be able to judge, no, this cannot be true. There's something wrong in it. You should smell, because you should have an idea who can say what and what can happen and what cannot happen and what is being twisted. So the twist is on. We need to go back for trust. To do that, we need to upgrade our skill, our perception. And that is exactly what is required, because truth is something which you cannot compromise for anything, as Swami Vivekananda said, but you can compromise everything for truth. Thank you very much. Bande Utkal Janani. Okay. Yes, sir. There will be only one question, because the preparations for the valedictory needs to be there. We have the Honorable former Vice Chancellor, Professor Dharurkar. Sir, kindly be seated, sir. You ask question while sitting. Can a microphone be given to the Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir? Sir, please be seated, sir. I know a teacher prefers speaking in a standing position.
All the panelists have done very excellent work, but there's one addition. Because when we study journalism as a science, when we go on communication as a science, we should go to understand the archaeology of concepts, the archaeology of gatekeeping. Gatekeeping started to explore in 1922. First article on gatekeeping appeared in 1943 by a person of psychology, and who wrote a paper regarding distribution of food. Nowadays, the food distribution has become a very important phenomenon. So, Nevin wrote an article in 1943, and later on, David White, a Boston professor, wrote an article on gatekeeping, and he wrote an article in Journalism Quarterly. Then, Shoemaker wrote a comprehensive book on gatekeeping. But at the time, in those periods, gatekeeping was related to print media. But now, the archaeology at gatekeeping is cutting and carving of bits of information in the print and electronic media. Is hitting all type of electronic, print and social media and IoT and internet-based things. So at this point, very important is to examine the truth in a machine-loaded truth or human perception. And Mr. Naik has rightly pointed that the human perception is more important than what machine does. Man is more important than machine. That is the truth of everything. Thank you very much.
That's from former Vice Chancellor and presently who is there in the heading an IKS system in a reputed university. Sir, yesterday my takeaway was from you, media logic, and today you have elaborately described gatekeeping, which we are talking in 2025 after AI and digital, and you have referred to its statement from 1922. And you are an avid reader, and that's why you could say yesterday your topic, new thing you introduced to us was media logic, and that is why we require gurus like you so that we have some takeaways. My dear audience, you have been wonderful. Though the algorithm, there is a fixed algorithm for, the dropping and falling of audience, which I'm not going to discuss. But I'm not going to give vote of thanks because that is scheduled for our honorable moderator. So thank you very much for having us all, and I'm grateful to my panelists. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Snehashishur, sir. We have already wrapped up this fifth plenary session, and now we go ahead with the felicitation. I request the organizing committee to come ahead with the felicitation procedure. Conclave Chairman, Professor Dr. Rupendra Padhi, felicitating Mr. Snehashish Shur. This has been a wonderful conference, as it happens every year, and we have crossed the 9th year too, hoping for a grand 10th year conclave. Mr. Sabitra Panda being felicitated by our chairman. Ms. Lopa Mishra Jana being felicitated by our chairman, Dr. Professor Upendra Padhi. Yes. The program has been completed, the plenary session, and we are all looking forward to the valedictory session, which will begin in another 5 minutes. Mr. Fakir Mohan Nahak being felicitated by Professor Upendra Padhi. Thank you so much, sir. A group photo, which is a must after every program. Thank you so much. Audience, please be seated. Within the next 5 to 7 minutes, we are starting our valedictory session, the valedictory session for the 9th NMC, National Media Conclave. Thank you.
Good morning, Jai Jagannath. Welcome to the valedictory ceremony of National Media Conclave on its 9th edition. Indeed, we are very much delighted to have in our midst Honorable Speaker, Odisha Legislative Assembly, Madam Surama Padhiji. We are very much delighted to have her gracious presence in this valedictory congregation. And as the chief guest, she is with us, and we are also equally delighted to welcome on stage Professor Santosh Kumar Tripathi, esteemed Vice Chancellor, Fakir Mohun University, Bhaleshwar. And I take the privilege to invite on stage Professor Pradeep Malik, Professor School of Liberal Studies, Pandit Dindal Energy University, and esteemed Professor Upendra Padhi, Chairman of the Conclave and Director of IMS Utkal University is with us. Also, I take the privilege to welcome on stage Manoranjan Panda, the Organizing Secretary and Convener of this National Media Conclave. At the outset, I take the privilege to request all the dignitaries to light the ceremonial lamp and to mark the auspicious commencement of this valedictory celebration, and also offer floral tributes to Honorable Dr. Harikrishna Mahatab, the architect of modern Odisha. आज भव्य समावेश आपण मानकु डॉक्टर हरिकृष्ण महताब आधुनिक ओडिशार निर्मातांक प्रतिकृति रे पुष्पमाल्य सहित प्रदीप प्रज्वलन पर निवेदन करुछु। In a very serene and scintillating ambience, this valedictory ceremony witnesses lighting of the ceremonial lamp and offering floral tributes to Honorable Dr. Harikrishna Mahatab, the architect of modern Odisha. And I take the privilege to request all of you to stand to give respect to the Mother India on the presentation of National Anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे।
Thank you so much. I would like to thank all of you for your wonderful presentation, for your deliberations in the 3-day-long National Media Conclave on its 9th edition, and particularly starting from the very first day to the valedictory session. We have witnessed, we have heard the great orators and the great experts in the domain of media and culture studies. They have presented their papers, they have deliberated different sessions, and we express our heartfelt gratitude to each of you. And now I take the privilege to request esteemed Chairman of the Conclave and Director, IMS Utkal University, Professor Upendra Padhi, to kindly just welcome our esteemed guests on the dais by presenting saplings as a mark of respect to their encouraging presence. We present this sapling, and with a big round of applause we welcome Honorable Speaker, Odisha Legislative Assembly, Madam Srimati Saroma Padhiji, and also we are very much delighted to express our gratitude to Professor Santosh Kumar Tripathi, Vice Chancellor, Fakirband University, and Professor Pradeep Malik, Professor, School of Liberal Studies, Pandit Dindal Energy University, and Professor Upendra Padhi, the Chairman of the Conclave. Indeed, it's an honor to be a part of this program, and we express our heartfelt gratitude to everyone. Sri Manonjan Panda, the organizing secretary and convener of this conclave. And now, your presence has also been inspiring out and out. So this 3-day-long National Media Conclave has witnessed deliberations under the broad theme of Media 5.0 Digital Communication. And now I would like to request Professor Upendra Padhi, esteemed Chairman of the Conclave and Director of IMS Utkal University, to present his welcome address.
Jai Jagannath, Namaskar. Really, I am very happy, and I am also thankful to you all for your gracious presence. Respected guests on the dais, scholars, academicians, media friends, organizing committee members of the 9th National Media Conclave, I feel privileged and honored to welcome you all to the valedictory session of the 9th National Media Conclave. I am very happy and privileged to welcome Chief Guest of this valedictory session, Srimati Saroma Padhi Madam, the Honorable Speaker, Odisha Legislative Assembly. We welcome you, Madam, to the valedictory session of the 9th edition of the National Media Conclave. I feel honored and privileged to welcome Professor Santosh Tripathi, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Fakir Mohan University, as the guest of honor to the valedictory session of the 9th National Media Conclave. We are very fortunate to have Professor Tripathi with us in this valedictory session, even though we had requested earlier to Professor Tripathi to be part of this National Media Conclave earlier because of his busy schedules, he could not able to make it possible. But this time, Professor Tripathi could able to make it possible, and we are very thankful and grateful to you. Sir, we welcome you. And I am very thankful because in spite of lot of busy schedule, Madam Speaker could able to give us some time and join us as the chief guest of this national valedictory session of the National Media Conclave. Friends, as I told you in the inaugural session, in this 3 days National Media Conclave 9th edition, in the last 5 plenary sessions, we have discussed many issues and challenges as we have fixed in as the themes and the sub-themes of our 9th National Media Conclave. In 5 plenary sessions such as AI deepfakes and credibility crisis, data privacy in digital domain issues and concerns, digital narratives, cyber security and media ethics, media forensics and synthetic media, the ginger effects, trust and twist in the digital gatekeeping. We have discussed in a very descriptive manner in these 5 plenary sessions. I hope the findings and suggestions of these plenary sessions will be very helpful to the policymakers, the planners, particularly to our state government to come out with a very broad-based roadmap for the state. We are very thankful that our state government, the Odisha state government, they had come out with a very broad-based, need-based electronics and IT policy of the state. And the present government is very hopeful to carry out this roadmap ahead, and the OCAC under the Electronics and IT Department, Government of Odisha, is the partner of this 9th edition of this National Media Conclave, and we are very hopeful the findings and suggestions will very shortly to submit the government, and we are hopeful that government will come out with a very broad-based policy, and the suggestions and the recommendations of this conclave will be part of that broad-based policy. Friends, during the inaugural ceremony, I had focused one thing. We always, in all aspects, we always put Gandhi, the father of the nation, always at the forefront. When we remember Mahatma Gandhi and his conceptualize his teachings for common welfare, Gandhi was not against of technology, but he was against the technology that would cause disruption in the lives of the masses. As of now, unfortunately, the new technology of artificial intelligence has made employment in many sectors redundant. It appears we have moved far away from the traditional communication. Equally, traditional communication, craft skills, what Gandhi advocated for employment generation and production. The toughest task now is to make use of AI for preserving our cultural fabric, ethical values, and offer livelihood for everyone according to her or his capabilities. Yes, it is the time that we bridge the gap between digital haves and have-nots so that the social goals and positively disrupted. Thank you, friends. So this is the suggestion from the 9th National Media Conclave, and I hope you all have joined. And it is very difficult to say you all, after some while, the 9th edition of the Media Conclave will be declared as closed. I hope during your 3 days stay in Bhubaneswar, you must have enjoyed this conference, and I hope you will take a lot of sweet memories with you all. Whenever we will plan for the 10th edition of the National Media Conclave in Bhubaneswar, again we will meet with new opportunities, new ideas, new objectives when we will have the 10th edition of the National Media Conclave. And I also beg apology to you all as the part of the organizing committee of the National Media Conclave. If anything, if any difficulties you have faced during these 3 days staying here in Bhubaneswar, the capital city, and on behalf of organizing committee, we will not hesitate to beg sorry or apology to you all. So with these words, again I welcome you to this end function of this 9th National Media Conclave, and with lots of hope, again we will meet when we will have the 10th edition of the National Media Conclave here in the Bhubaneswar. And we have tried our best to come out with a lot of publication during this National Media Conclave, and I assure to the scholars that you have presented all highly quality-based research papers yesterday, and our double-blind peer review committee, they will submit this thing within 2 months, and all of your selected papers, we are assuring all of your selected papers will be published in our journal, and every quarterly that journal is being published, so don't kindly lose patience. And all the selected papers will be published. With these words, again I thank all the research scholars particularly, don't lose the patience. All of your articles will be published. And I also welcome the NMC award winner this time, also the best paper presenter. Yesterday those who have presented their research paper, the best paper presenters, they will be awarded during this program. With these words, again, I welcome you all to this valedictory session of the 9th National Media Conclave. Thank you.
We are extremely thankful and grateful to Professor Upendra Padhi, the chairman of the Conclave and director of Institute of Media Studies, Utkal University. And particularly for over 3 decades, he has revolutionized the media studies. And every year, as we are all witness to this fact, that every year, IMS organizes, Institute of Media Studies organizes different seminars, workshops, symposiums, wherein the great minds, the intellectuals, they congregate and they deliberate upon different issues. And for that, we are extremely grateful to Professor Upendra Padhi. And always there is a saying, I am reminded of one of the famous lines of Thomas Sterne Eliot in one of his celebrated poems, The Wasteland. Between our thoughts and actions there falls a shadow. This is the way the world ends, not with a bang but a whimper. But here is a man who has the ability and who has the wonderful knack to translate what he conceives of into action. And that is the speciality of Professor Upendra Padhi that makes him stand different from his contemporaries. We are extremely grateful to you, sir, for your wonderful skill in organizing this type of conclave, this type of seminars and symposiums as well. We are very much delighted to have Professor Pradeep Malik, Professor, School of Liberal Studies, Pandit Dindayal Energy University, Gandhinagar, in the realms of language, literature and aesthetics, and also mass communication. Professor Pradeep Malik is a familiar face, is a familiar figure whose name is taken with respect and reverence. And at present, he is working at Pandit Dindayal Energy University, Gandhinagar, wherein he is guiding innumerable scholars, and he has also guided so many scholars, those who are now placed in different sectors, and particularly his gracious presence has added luster to this program. I take the privilege to request Professor Pradeep Malik ji to kindly address the congregation.
Thank you for the kind, generous words of introduction. Honorable Ma'am Speaker, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Sir, Chairman of the Conclave, and my dear friend, Organizing Secretary. It's a privilege to stand before you, and I have this unenviable task of kind of summing up 3 days of deliberations here. 5 plenary sessions, 1 memorial lecture, and about 100 research papers down the road. We are here to celebrate and mark the valedictory of this 3-day 9th edition of National Media Conclave, in the hope that we meet again to mark a decade of this conclave. A big round of applause from my end, and I'm sure for all of you, to the organizing team led by none less than Professor Padhi, and the person who is always behind all this. He doesn't come on the stage, you know. This is only the second time that we are seeing him on the stage, but because he's always in the war room, Manoranjan Panda. Always in the war room, preparing for the next step, next day, and trust me, I know, once this gets over, he'll start preparing for the next edition also, because all of us know that the next one is going to be a decade of this conclave, and all of us are looking forward to that huge celebration. So since I have this unenviable task of summing up all this, and also talk about the takeaways, I'll take a few minutes. Professor Padi has already spoken about the 5 plenary that we had, and it's all there in your book of abstract as well as the 3-day program schedule. We all began with this conclave, and as usual, this is a conclave as against a conference. Conclave is generally a shorter gathering, a closer gathering, a small group gathering of people who deliberate upon things, come up with a solution to some problem, and recommend it to the power that be, to the institution that be, in the hope that it brings some solution to the issues that society is facing. So I think we have done a good job once again. A big round of applause to the organizing team and to yourself, all of you who have contributed, who have been contributed, and I'm very sure will continue to contribute to this conclave. So how we started with this, the theme for this was communication 5.0. Popularly, they call it 5.0, 5.0. The theme was about the artificial intelligence, the synthetic data, media forensics, and of course, all the issues, the positives and the negatives associated with all these things. So, we began with what is AI, as simple as that. What is AI? Yes, all of us probably know what is AI, but we still discussed what is AI. We began with that. And then we talked about this generative AI, which is creating havoc. Most of the speakers, they talked about the negatives of generative AI, and at the same time, we also accepted that like any technology, like any disruption, anything new in society, it has something positives also. And even if it is negative, we have to look at the positives, because as they say, technology, like water, will find its level. You can't resist water. You can't bound it. You can't resist technology. You can't bound it. It will continue to grow. It will continue to flow. Point is, how do we use it for the betterment of us, betterment of our society, betterment of our nation, and the entire humankind? So we started off with what is AI, how it functions and all, and we did take a look at how AI functions really, and we talked about generative adversarial network. Today we talked about C2PA, collaborative partnership for provenance and accountability. We talked about that. So starting from what AI is, how it functions, to today's last session where we talked about the trust and mistrust in AI, the credibility, the crisis of credibility. In that, what we have discussed, what we have known, but we only reiterated the role that social media is playing in all this. A lot of this content, thanks to the use, misuse, whatever it is, thanks to this phenomenon, a lot of misinformation and disinformation, and many a time malinformation is being spread. And most of the time we find that the platforms are these social media platforms. Has technology democratized the media sphere? Many of us, we feel yes, it has democratized. To the extent that some people have started calling it's no longer democracy, it is datacracy. We did hear this term during our deliberations here. Now, since social media, it tends to, when it is spreading messages, because it needs to spread messages fast, we all realized lies many a time move faster than the truth. Famously, they say by the time lie has traveled, by the time the truth has pulled up its socks, the lie has traveled half the globe. So point is that most of the time these platforms, they reduce the data and the stamp behind this digital data to such an extent that it can spread faster. And there comes the problem of identifying. There comes the issue of media forensics. We did discuss that also. And we realized that it is needed, and it was reiterated in today's last plenary session. Can we have something like nutritional level, digital level, label on media products, so that we can know, just like in product, what's the country of origin. So a data set or a certain piece of information, what is its origin? Which all stages it went through, which all stages this set of data or the piece of information was edited. Sometimes this editing could be tampering with an intention. So what stage it was tampered with and how it has reached me. And once we know this, see, technology is there will be users and there will be misusers. But if we know the process, if we know the stages it has come to us, like it used to happen in journalism, I am aware of the word, I very consciously used the term, used to happen in journalism. We would give information in the hope that we are able to mold public opinion, and people will form their own opinion. Instead of we giving the truth, we give them pieces of information from different perspectives and hope that they will form their opinion, come to a conclusion on their own. So similarly, if we know these stages of media, of information reaching us through one of those media mediated information, if we know that, probably we will be able to, and we must trust our intelligence, we will be able to understand what is the truth and come to our own conclusion. All this brings us to the issue of trust and hence media literacy. We talked about media, the trust and the losing trust in media. The tragedy is that one person, one institution, or one platform commits some error and it affects the entire media spectrum. All the players get started looking at with suspicion. Many years ago, centuries ago in fact, I'm just stretching the analogy. John Donne, a priest, a preacher, but also celebrated poet of the 17th century, he wrote that, he gave that sermon which, it was a sermon, mind you, but it was such a beautiful sermon, it became a poem, and people still quote it, and I'm quoting John Donne. Pardon me, I may be a word or two here, but it's an extension. I'm just, as I said, it's an extension of this analogy. No man is an island of itself. If a cloud be washed away by the sea, the England is less, as well as promontory were, as well of a manner of thy own or thy friend's own word. I'm sorry, I'm not able to tell you exactly, but I'm telling you the essence of this. So never send to know for whom the bell tolls, it tolls for thee. He ends it there. There's no point in talking about which platform does what. There is no point in talking about which individual does what. Point is that whatever they are doing, it is affecting us, and we should be concerned about that. And as speakers and experts and scholars, they told us that ultimately it boils down to our own conscience, our own wisdom. We have to build, we cannot be dependent on this algorithm-driven media to tell us what is true or what is not. What we should be believing and what we should not be believing. We have to trust our own conscience, we have to trust our own wisdom, and for that we have to build that wisdom. And for that comes the role of media literacy. Today morning, yesterday, and the inaugural session, all we were talking about the importance of media literacy and digital literacy also. So ultimately it boils down to that we have to take command of ourselves, how we consume, what we consume, and come up with a set of norms which Professor Padi was just about talking talking about, not just for the government, sir. Yes, government does play a big role. It will continue to play a big role in democracy and open society. But for us also, we, the professionals, we do come together collectively. We have lots of professional bodies. Collectively, we come together. We formulate a set of norms, a set of ethical behavior, how we are going to use AI for ourselves, for our society, and for the betterment of our nation. I think that's the takeaway from this 3-day media conclave. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity of summarizing everything. It's impossible to summarize, but I'm sure, as Professor Padi has said, there will be a set of recommendations which will be sent to all those who are concerned about AI and the use of AI. And let us hope, and I'm sure we'll work towards adoption of those sets of norms. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity of summing up and listening to me patiently. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir.
We are equally thankful to Professor Pradeep Pallik for giving his closing remarks. Now I would like to call upon some of the resourceful partakers in this conclave who will be sharing their experiences. May I now request Dr. S. Arul Chelvan, Professor and Head of the Department of Media Sciences, Anna University, Chennai, to kindly come on the stage, and just because of the constraint of time, we would like to request him to just address in a couple of minutes.
Thank you for inviting me. This 9th edition of National Media Conclave. First of all, I want to thank and congratulate Professor Upendra Padi for conducting this National Conclave for nine years. This is 9th edition. It's a very good platform for the faculty members, researchers, scholars, students, and media professionals. During these 3 days, they are presenting a lot of papers, the research works, results, findings, and also the professors, researchers, they made a lot of deliberations. These deliberations were very useful for all the media professionals, faculty, researchers. It is a very good platform for also networking, because nowadays getting networked with the relevant people is very, very important for developing a particular professional sector. For this media professional sector, Professor Padi is making this conclave as a bigger platform, bigger networking platform. It's a great opportunity to be here. I enjoyed these 3 days with a lot of inputs. When I came, it was 25% only filled. Now it's 45, 50, 60, it's going. Maybe next year it will be 100%. Thank you so much for organizing this conference. Thank you.
We are thankful to esteemed Dr. S. Arul Chelvan, and now I would like to request esteemed Ruchita Sujai Chaudhary, one of the researchful participants and partakers. She will also be addressing all of us in just a couple of minutes.
Thank you for the opportunity, sir. Thank you, organizers also. The 9th 3 days National Media Conclave has been an enriching, engaging and truly memorable experience for all of us. As a participant, I would like to say that we are going back with lots of memories from this conclave. And I, as a participant, found the event remarkably well curated, bringing together scholars, researchers, academicians, and media professionals from across the country. And that too on one vibrant platform, that is the Bhubaneswar, one of the vibrant city of Odisha. The diversity of perspectives, depth of deliberations, and intellectual exchange throughout these sessions significantly broadened my understanding of Media 5.0. The conclave offered a valuable opportunity to interact with the experts from premier institutions, I must say, engaging in meaningful discussions and establish academic networks that will undoubtedly contribute to future collaborative research. Beyond the academic sessions, the arrangements for food, accommodation, all were truly excellent, sir, offering a wide variety of Oriya cuisine that because I am from Lucknow, Uttar Pradesh, so I enjoyed a lot that kept participants energized throughout the event. The evening cultural performances added a delightful dimension to the conclave, celebrating and encouraging the folk art form, diversity, and creative expressions of Odisha. I'm grateful to Padi sir for creating such a meaningful and memorable experience. I am going back with lots of new concepts like datacracy, techno-lingo, cultural specific ethics, digital media detox, and many such more concepts. So with 2 lines, because in Lucknow we would always express our gratitude in the form of sher and shari, so I would like to express with 2 lines, sir. जो थक कर भी ना रुके वही बाजीगर होता है, जो थक कर भी ना रुके वही बाजीगर होता है, जो झुके नहीं मुश्किलों में वही सिकंदर होता है, जो झुके नहीं मुश्किलों में वही सिकंदर होता है। सफलता इंतज़ार नहीं करती किसी की, हर पल को पकड़ना ही असली हुनर होता है, हर पल को पकड़ना ही असली हुनर होता है। With these lines, once again, thanks a lot from all of us, all the participants. Thank you, everyone.
Once again, we would like to express our thanks and gratitude to all the partakers for being lavish in the praise of organizing this National Media Conclave. Indeed, we are also equally grateful to all of you. We are very much delighted that Professor Santosh Kumar Tripathi, Honorable Vice Chancellor, FM University, Pakirmon University, Baleswar, is with us. As everybody knows, as one of the leading educationists of our time and a great scholar, a great guide par excellence, who has carved a niche for himself in the domain of higher education. As Professor PMIR and Director, College Development Council in Utkal University, he has redefined research work, he has redefined different studies in different disciplines, and as an administrator also, he has set some landmarks, some achievements, he has set some landmarks for others to emulate. And as a great professor, at present he is the Vice Chancellor, FM Pakirmon University, and his gracious presence has indeed just given some moral boost to all of us, and I take the privilege to request Professor Santosh Kumar Tripathi to kindly present the valedictory address. With a big round of applause, we welcome one of the great educationists of our time, Professor Tripathi.
Honorable Speaker, Madam Surama Padhiji of Odisha Legislative Assembly, and today's chief guest, esteemed Chairman of the Conclave, Director of IMS, Professor Upendra Padhi, Professor Pradeep Malik, and 2 professors who gave their experiences, beautiful experiences, Dr. S. Aruchelvan and Ruchita Sujay Chaudhary, esteemed resource persons, media friends, and dear students. I am overwhelmed that 72 papers were accepted for the conclave and 40 resource persons attended this conference. What a massive job performed during this conclave. Therefore, at the outset, I congratulate Professor Padi and his team who has been able to organize this Mahakumbha as rightly written in the souvenir, that this is actually a media Mahakumbh as far as I observe. And as I know, conclaves or seminars are held for different purposes. Knowledge sharing is the best part of it. Along with knowledge sharing, it gives experiences to the students and organizers, how to organize the event successfully, how to go for team management, how to take the leadership issues, and finally how to manage the relationship. Because we establish new relationship through these conclaves, because resource persons, they come from different parts of India, and ultimately relationship matters, network matters for organizing this type of conference. Again, I congratulate the team that they have successfully managed this as far as the reactions of participants are concerned. And they have discussed everything, discussed on the role of media in shaping the societal structures, also on AI, on every part of or every role of media is discussed, be it issues and challenges or problems, be it development, either in education or health or road transport or railways or commerce and business. Media has a role, be it rural or urban issues, be it water or air issues, the environment, be it war or sports. And as we know from Operation Sindoor to Ukraine and Israel, be it terrorism or spiritualism, the Delhi blast to Ram Mandir, be it tourism or agriculture or forest or environment, be it Vikasit Bharat or Vikasit Odisha or Vocal for Local, motivation or recognition. Everything is now being performed by the media. I can cite the issue of my university. Actually, I am in a rural university, and Baleshwar is famous for three issues, dhan, pan and min, that is rice, betel and fish. We just experienced with small centers of research by spending few lakhs of rupees. This time, media raised us, media highlighted the issue of betel and rice. Finally, we are getting the center of research, status by Government of India and Government of Odisha. That's how media plays the role to expand the issues and challenges to support and finally to give it a shape. And we are getting 10 crore rupees for research on these three aspects because media highlighted and media took it from us. And if I will fail if I will not speak anything on AI. Of course, I have my own reservations because of my age perhaps. My age doesn't permit to go for exploring AI. Somehow, I feel that media is dependent on AI and to some extent also helping us to know about AI. And as we know, we cannot avoid AI now in this age. It is very difficult to avoid AI. We have to accept it. But friends, my suggestion will be we should promote the best part of it by accepting it, and we should reject the worst part of it. We all suffer from worst part of it. You know, what is happening around, we know about it, and the social media and some mischievous minds, they just put some dangers before us, which should be carefully dealt with, and media has a role in it. We should use it, we should not misuse it. That should be the concept as far as AI is concerned. As far as my experience is concerned, friends, I have so many professors. Two of the professors are competing among themselves to write number of papers as far as possible. And what they are doing, they are accepting AI and machine learning and finally producing a paper in each week. this I can say misuse of AI, and I can say too much dependent on AI. This kills the indigenous research, the field research, the laboratory research. We are all depending on data science and collecting data from different resources, different sources, and finally using it to produce a paper every week. That should not be the attitude of professors, though quantity matters as far as promotion is concerned, as far as other things are concerned. And students are massively using AI. Even they are writing their dissertation, they are not even using their brains, how to bring out facts, how to be original in their research. It becomes easy for them to go for that. But friends, are you not losing the creative writing aspects of your life? Are you not actually reducing the use of human intelligence while using the AI? It is easy, it is better, and sometimes grammatical errors are not there. Everything comes perfect, I understand that. But are you writing it? When it is self-writing, obviously it is creativity. The person who has developed AI and developing AI, they are creative enough. But you are users. Users should not be so much dependent on AI so that originality is lost. That is my personal observation as far as AI is concerned. And when we do it for copying purpose and pasting purpose, obviously we are not helping our analytical brain to think of it. And in media, it is very important that you have to analyze, you have to present facts. Quick fix solutions are not expected in media. Of course, the faster somebody is, takes the credit of something. But if it is not based on facts, if it is not based on observation, if it is not based on analysis, if it is not based on your own ideas, inputs into it, and obviously we fail to give justice to our profession. We fail to help facts to be presented before the public, real facts to be presented before the public. We know how it happens and how we do it, how general public is also doing it. They are using it, photographs are being managed, news are being managed, and finally what we are doing, media's job is to present the facts before the public. Because as far as myself is concerned, I still depend on media's outcome, outburst. What is there? Be it forecasting of weather, be it managing the environment, be it managing the social structures, the family, community, other things, be it reading about sports, be it reading about other developmental issues. If they are not presented through proper analysis, fact-wise, perhaps you are misleading the society, and society is running after something which we know that to be fast enough for the sake of development, we are just ruining some structures in our society which are not expected. Finally, I must thank Professor Padi, but my apologies are there, though he had invitations for me for last conclaves. I was not able to attend those due to some busy schedules. Today is a Sunday, so it became easier for me that I could travel from Baleshwar and attended this conclave. And I think next time when he invites me, he should make it in a holiday so that I can attend. Thank you very much.
We are grateful to Professor Santosh Kumar Tripathi, esteemed Vice Chancellor, Fakir Mohun University, for his wonderful discourse and concluding remarks. Indeed, the presence of Honorable Speaker, Odisha Legislative Assembly, has given us a moral boost to this congregation, and Madam Surama Padhi, as everybody knows, is a remarkable personality who commands respect from all quarters. Her simplicity, her approach to life, her humility and her resilience make her stand grand. And besides, Madam Surama Padhi is a creative genius who is credited to have explored some unexplored values and concepts relating to the lives of the illustrious sons and daughters of this soil. And in different columns of different media, we have been reading her, and her approach to the great sons and daughters of this soil, the illustrious personalities of this soil, has indeed left us very much surprised that how she finds time, despite her great schedules, and she finds time to just dive deep into the recesses of things and just bring out the cream, wherein the enthusiastic and the intellectual mass, they have imbibed a lot. And her presence has added lustre to this program. And may I take the privilege to request Madam Surama Padhi, Honorable Speaker, Odisha Legislative Assembly, to address the congregation.
Jai Jagannath. On this 3 days National Media Conclave 2025, I welcome you all. I welcome the respected guests on dais, Mr. Professor Upendra Padhi, the chairman of this conclave and director of IMS Utkal University. I welcome Professor Santosh Kumar Tripathi, Vice Chancellor of FM University, Baleshwar. Also welcome Professor Pradeep Mallik, School of Liberal Studies, Pandit Deendayal Energy University. Also I welcome on dais the organizing secretary, Mr. Manoranjan Panda. And also I welcome you all, the participants of this conclave, of the closing ceremony of 3 days media conclave. On this occasion, I pay my tribute to the last Prime Minister and first Chief Minister of Odisha, Utkal Keshari, Dr. Hare Krishna Mahatap. Today is the 126th birthday of Dr. Hare Krishna Mahatap. Friends, it gives me immense pleasure to know that the Institute of Media Studies, IMS, has been hosting the 9th edition of National Media Conclave. This year, the conclave is commemorating the closing of 125th birth anniversary of former Chief Minister Odisha, as I said, Dr. Hare Krishna Mahatap, and cherish his journalistic works also. The theme of the conclave, Media 5.0 Digital Communication, I would like to say is very pertinent to current times when all of us are virtually living in a digital world. I congratulate the organizers for holding such a national conclave and promoting thought leadership on this crucial topic. First of all, I would like to put some light on Utkal Keshari Dr. Hare Krishna Mahatap's deeds. Dear friends, Utkal Keshari Dr. Hare Krishna Mahatap's journalistic work was extensive and vital to the Indian independence movement and Odisha's cultural and political development. He founded and edited several influential newspapers and magazines, using them to spread patriotism, advocate for Gandhian philosophy, and highlight the public issues. He published the weekly paper Swaraj Samachar from Baleshwar to spread patriotism among the Odia people. He founded Odia weekly magazine, the Prajatantra, in the year 1923, which later became a leading Odia daily newspaper and remains in circulation till today. It was a vital tool for rallying support for the nationalistic cause and highlighting the problems faced by the common man. He established and served as a chief editor of English daily newspaper, the Eastern Times, which was later published as a weekly. He was the founder and chief editor of influential Odia monthly literary journal, Jhankar, which provided a platform for budding writers of Odisha. His daily column, Gaon Majlis, meaning village assembly, was an overnight sensation highlighting public issues. He also started the publication of a children's magazine called Meena Bazaar and a women magazine called Nari Jagat. His work earned him a well-deserved Sahitya Academy Award in the year 1983, making him one of the most celebrated literacy stalwarts of Odisha. I would like to praise Mr. Upendra Padhi because on this media conclave, he rightly has placed Dr. Hare Krishna Mahatap, and who has the best journalist and who has started the journalistic culture in Odisha, in independent Odisha, I would like to say. हम महात्मा गांधी जी के बारे में अगर विचार करें, गांधीयन फिलोसफी के प्रवक्ता थे डॉक्टर हरे कृष्ण महताब, और महात्मा गांधी जी की राय थी कि हम सबका स्वाधीनता हम सबका जन्मसिद्ध अधिकार है, और इन्होंने अपनी वाणी से, अपनी कार्य से पूरे देश की जनताओं को एकत्रित कर सकें कि हम अंग्रेज़ों के बारे में उन्होंने कहा ब्रिटिशर्स देश छोड़ो, और पूरे देश की जनताओं को इनकी वाणी ने सम्मोहित किया था, और चाहे गांव के लड़का हो, स्कूल के बच्चे हों या महिलाएं हों, सब कुछ स्वतंत्रता आंदोलन में कूद पड़े थे, और उनका विचार था स्वराज प्राप्ति। और इसके पीछे की जो मतलब थी, इन्होंने कहा था, उड़िया में कहते हैं काटी पिंध कुट्टी खाओ, तो इसका मतलब है आत्मनिर्भर बनने का इनका आह्वान था। और ऐसे में आज भी इसकी प्रासंगिकता है। आज भी देश के प्रधानमंत्री माननीय नरेंद्र मोदी जी यही बात दोहरा रहे हैं कि हम भारत को आत्मनिर्भर बनाएंगे, वी विल बी vocal for local, so that our people, the manpower we have, India being a country, the manpower we have to transform it to economic power for growth of our country. आज भी इस विषय की प्रासंगिकता रहते हुए मैं आप सबको यही बात रखी मेरे, हालांकि ये थोड़ा सा आपके विषय से थोड़ा अलग है, लेकिन फिर भी इस विषय को मैंने रखा। Friends, I came to know that participants like policymakers, bureaucrats, senior media personnel, research scholars, and students from across the country attended this 3-day conference, which is concluding today. As the world undergoes rapid technological transformation, the convergence of the internet and artificial intelligence erodes the boundaries of the global landscape. This fosters novel media ecosystems, enabling individuals to both access and contribute to information seamlessly. However, this creates many new challenges. As it has been discussed, it must have discussed in the 3 days conclave, and my guests on dais have also focused light on it. So, what are the challenges? I would like to say, from my point of view, it is very easy to spread misinformation that can lead to panic and distrust amongst public. It is easy to take credit for others' work and also promote existing biases due to easy manipulation of digital algorithms. We audiences are now being shown more of the content we consume, leading to an erosion of critical thinking and alternative perspectives. Such trends lead to mistrust in media as a practice because many audiences, I mean the urbanized people and the rural, many audiences still do not know the differences between AI-generated fake content and authentic, verified news. So what is the solution? What should we do? In this digital age, media fraternity has the foremost responsibility. Media fraternity has the foremost responsibility of balancing the benefits of digital systems and AI with its dangers. You people have to make a balance. I know it's a very difficult to manage, but still then we have to be very careful about it. We must practice ethical content creation by strengthening transparency and fact-checking. Human insights and creativity has to be balanced with automation, as my predecessor speaker has told about it. So human insight and creativity has to be balanced with automation. The first-party research, investigative journalism, and human analysis can never be replaced by AI. We must realize this. Friends, media is the fourth pillar of our democracy, and it has a responsibility to shape a future built on fairness, integrity, and transparency. As we conclude the 3-day conclave, I would like to say, let us all take a place, create Media 5.0 digital communication on these values. With this, I conclude my speech, and I think if I have, keeping in view my age also, as my predecessor said, keeping in view my age also, I have such a point, whether we follow AI directly without any checking, fact checking, or we have to apply our mind and our history, our culture, keeping in view the bright history we have to check it, and we have to deliver accordingly. Thank you all. Vande Utkal Janani.
Words will be short enough to express our gratitude to Honorable Speaker, Odisha Legislative Assembly, Madam Surama Padhiji. We are grateful to her benign presence and inspiring words as well. Now, we would like to announce the 9th NNC Awards. It will go to Rourkela Steel Plant as Best Public Sector Organizing Implementing PR. And I take the privilege to invite on stage Sri Jaideep Majumdarji, Assistant Manager PR, to kindly come on stage and to receive this coveted award. I would like to request our esteemed guests of the morning to just felicitate Jaideep Majumdar on behalf of Rourkela Steel Plant as Best Public Sector Organization Implementing PR. Sri Jaideep Majumdar, Assistant Manager PR, is receiving this coveted award of National Media Conclave on its 9th edition on behalf of Rourkela Steel Plant. And we take the privilege to invite on stage Dr. Mihir Ranjan Patra, Associate Professor, Guru Jambheshwar University of Science and Technology, HISA, for organizing National Media Conclave Film Festival. So he has done a very commendable job in organizing NMC Film Fest, and for that, in recognition to that, Dr. Mihir Ranjan Patra, Associate Professor, Guru Jambheshwar University of Science and Technology, HISA, is being felicitated. आज प्रोफेसर उपेंद्र पाड़ी
सॉरी एक धृष्टता करूँगा। मैडम स्पीकर ने हिंदी में बोल के बता दिया, मैं वैसे तो उड़ीसा से हूँ, पर मोर कंफर्टेबल है हिंदी। एक धृष्टता करूँगा, एक लुटेरे के बारे में बात करूँगा। ये बीच में खड़े हैं बिना मुस्कुराए, और प्रोफेसर उपेंद्र पाड़ी जी हम सब के दिल लूट कर यहाँ खड़े हैं, और ये इतने एकेडमिकली माइंडेड है कि पिछले 3 दिन से यहाँ मेरे ख्याल से खाली फ़कीर साहब को ही पता था कि फिल्म फेस्टिवल हो रहा है। बाकी पैरेलल जो सेशंस चल रहे थे कल, उसी समय इन्होंने इस हिसाब से किया कि एकेडमिकली कोई डिस्टर्बेंस ना हो। पर आपसे अनुरोध है कि अगले साल से फिल्म फेस्टिवल, ये पहली बार था, आपको साधुवाद कि आप हमें काबिल समझा इसको ऑर्गेनाइज करने के लिए। उसमें कोई हम 20 से ज़्यादा एंट्रीज आई थी और 12 सिलेक्टेड हमने कल स्क्रीनिंग करी। तो सर दारुरकर वाज ऑल्सो देयर, थैंक यू सर फॉर दैट। एंड नेक्स्ट ईयर प्लीज़ उसको मेन स्टेज पे सबको दिखाइए जो सिलेक्टेड फिल्में हैं। इसी अनुरोध के साथ इस लुटेरे को फिर से साधुवाद देते हैं। थैंक यू सर।
Thank you, sir. Dr. Mihir Ranjan Patra, Associate Professor. Now, there will be the distribution of certificates to 6 best paper presentations, as Professor Upendra Padhi has mentioned in his welcome address. And we would like to invite Sayantika Datta, one of the best paper presenters. I would like to invite on stage Sayantika Datta. She has come out with the first position, and the jury members have adjudged her to be the best paper presenter in the National Media Conclave in the 3-day-long program. Sayantika Datta obtaining maximum mark, procuring maximum mark by our jury members. She has come out first. And 2 paper presenters, 2 scholars, they have come out second position. They have come out in second position, just sharing the mark, the same mark given by the jury members. Akhil Kannam and Nimisa Suryansi. With a big round of applause, we welcome Akhil Kannam and Nimisha Suryansi. Both of them have come out second position. They have been adjudged as second best paper presenters in the 9th National Media Conclave 2025. Both of them deserve commendation and a big round of applause. And this time, Akhil Kannam and Nimisha Suryansi. They are adjudged as the best paper presenters, and they are being given away with these certificates and your applause. Then Anushi Kostwan and Avani Sharma, Sikhi Chatterjee and Sambit Misra. They have been adjudged as the 3rd best paper presenters. Each of them is invited on the stage. We invite all of them. Anushi Kotwan and Avani Sharma Sikhi Chatterjee and Sambit Misra. For their wonderful paper presentation, they are felicitated, they are given away with the certificates of appreciation and also the thundering applause as a mark of respect to their wonderful presentation in the National Media Conclave 2025. Indeed, it is a privilege to just felicitate the 6 best paper presenters in this 9th National Media Conclave. We congratulate each of them, and we also look forward to their participation in the coming days, in the coming years. Now I would like to request all our dignitaries to be seated, and I would like to request esteemed Chairman of the Conclave, Professor Upendra Padhi, to kindly felicitate our Chief Guest of the occasion of in this valedictory session, Honorable Speaker, Odisha's Legislative Assembly, Madam Surama Padhi. Despite her hectic schedules, despite her pressing engagements, she has been kind enough to come over here as a mark of respect to Dr. Harikrishna Mahatab on the 125th birth anniversary of the great statesman, and also as love to Professor Upendra Padhi, the chairman of the conclave. Indeed, we are grateful to Professor Tripathi, Professor Santosh Kumar Tripathi, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Fakir Mohun University, for being kind enough to join this valedictory session. So now, I would like to request the convener and organizing secretary and assistant professor, Institute of Media Studies, Sri Manoranjan Panda, to present customary note of thanks.
Thank you very. Good afternoon and Jai Jagannath. So this is marks the end of this 3-day 9th National Media Conclave, and every end begins with a new hope. So we are gear up for this 10th edition, which will be a decadal celebration. So it will be bigger and more vibrant, we hope, and it's the need of the hour, and all research scholars will contribute in the next year as a decadal celebration. So on this occasion, on behalf of the organizing committee, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed guest, Srimati Surama Padhi Madam, Honorable Speaker, Odisha Legislative Assembly, for joining in the closing ceremony and inspiring our research scholar through her presence. I also extend my deep gratitude to Professor Santosh Kumar Tripathi, Vice Chancellor of Fakir Mohun University, Baleshwar, for his enriching speech, and the points he raised through his speech really will make it count in the next decadal celebration, and hope that session will be, hope sir will, through his presence, will also encourage us. Thank you, sir. I also extend thankfulness to Professor Pradeep Malik, who has been a mentor since our conclave organized in 2017. He has been with us as an advisor, as a mentor, as a teacher. So we can name any adjective can be added to Professor Malik. Thank you, sir, for presence and enriching our sessions. So thank you. I also extend my grateful our gratitude to our Professor Upendra Padi, sir, the man behind this conference, since its conception, and hopefully we'll celebrate the decadal celebration 2026. So that will mark the decadal celebration, and hopefully that event will be bigger, and in Bhubaneswar we'll make it a memorable one for all scholars and professors. Thank you, sir, for your continued, without any interruption. Even we had faced COVID pandemic in 2019, 2021, and we could able to organize that through online and virtual, and it was also a great success. Thank you, sir, for continued support and organizing this event in this part of Eastern India where very less academic exchange happens. Thank you, sir. So thank you all the participant delegates from different states, from different parts of the country for attending this 3-day event. And as Padi sir already mentioned, so your 3-day stay, hopefully it will be a memorable one, and you will carry forward this message, this hospitality, and if anything wrong happens from our side, we beg apology. Thank you so much. I also sincere thanks to the KIT deemed University for providing the logistic support and providing this auditorium and other logical supports to this event for making it grand success. I also extend my deep gratitude to Odisha Computer Application Center under the Electronic and Information Technology Department for the technological collaborative partner, and they committed us, so our recommendations and suggestions that has been brought out from different plenary sessions will be included in their future artificial intelligence policy making. Thank you for the department for their support, and thank you all and one for this event, and the certificate distribution will continue short after this while. Thank you so much. Please bear with us. Thank you.
So to conclude the program we would like to request all of you to stand. It's time for standing ovation for the national anthem.
मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तब शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तब जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
We would like to express our gratitude to honorable guests of the morning for the distribution of certificates.
So I am calling one by one. Please be ready from the Patinal Sherpa. Is she present? Yes. Then Sara Saha. Then Rahul Mittal. Please be quick. Next, Sara Saha. Next, Rahul Mittal. Next, Dr. Shekhar Magar. Supriya Maharana. Supriya Maharana. Sarmishta Das. Sarmishta Das, Ms. Ribani Kumavanya. Next, Kiran Chauhan. Kiran Chauhan. Next, Shashwat Panigrahi. Next, Jhansi Permula. Jhansi. Is he present? Jhansi. Soumya Shruti Satpathy. Soumya Shruti Satpathy. Next, Deepika Jena. Saidip Kara. Deepika Jena, Dr. R. Raghuram, H. Badri Narayanan, Sai Devika, Ashok Paul Ranjan, Kaushika Tank, Mehak Bhogal, Dharitri Das, Riya Rituparna Raut, Debraj Takri, Ruchita Sujai Chaudhary, Rohan Gurung, next Mahendra Kumar Swain, Rohan Gurung, Mrinal Rai, Martin Rai, Nikita Priyadarshi, Martin. Martin. Next, Soumya Sharma, Nikita Priyadarshi. Next, Rajkumar Das. Next, SB Vijayabeni. Rajkumar Das. Next, SB Vijayabeni. Next, Shivsankar Koluvaili. Next, Arushi Srivastav. Amlan. Next, Josna Das. Next, Shekhar Magar. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. Thank you. And this marks the end of this closing ceremony. Thank you. Thank you.